Hi everyone. Today we're discussing the JavaScript code for a to-do list of HTML and CSS code. So we have some elements which are probably found in the HTML code, which are listed above here. Constant input, add btn, to-do list, total tasks, completed tasks. They are all functions. They are all constant because they wouldn't be changed or they can be changed. Alright, so the input gets the user to enter their text. The input function here gets the user to enter text. The add btn represents the add tags button, which will be found in our website. The to-do list is where the tags will be displayed. The tags entered by the user will be displayed. And then with the total and completed tasks, they show task statistics. Understand? So the total here should say something, and then the completed here should also say something. So we move on to the updating or update statistics. So we have another function here which is constant total and constant completed. So with the constant total, this function counts the total number of tasks performed by users who use the website, and then the completed, constant completed, also counts the number of completed tasks performed. So in this case, you are realizing that there will be a lot of tasks, and some may be completed and others may not be completed, but we are dealing with the completed ones, and then the total number of tasks performed. Alright, so moving on to these functions here, and then these functions update the numbers displayed on the screen. Okay, let's move on. The add text function. So here, this function runs when the user adds a task. So you can see function add task here and constant task test. Understand? So here runs when the user inputs a text or a task. Okay, and then here it removes extra spaces from the input. It removes extra spaces from the input, and then it prevents empty tags from being added. So if the space left for you to enter a task is empty, it's not going to run. It's just going to alert you to enter a task. It's going to alert you something like an error. It's going to alert you. That is if you don't enter anything in the space provided for you to enter your task. It is going to return, please enter a task. Please enter a task, sorry. Alright, let's move on. So creating a task item. So with this, the constant li list item. So this creates a list item, and then this span displays the task test. This function, it displays the task test which you entered or which you created. And then this one here, create a delete button for removing the task. So you are going to see an X after you've added a task on the website. You're going to see an X which signifies delete if you don't want that task anymore. Alright, so marking a task as completed. Marking a task as completed. So this function here will help us in gaining a completed task and an uncompleted task. So with this function, by clicking on the task you have added initially, it marks as completed. And then when you undo or you do the same or you take the same process again, it is removed from completed task. So a click on the task you have entered already or you have added already adds it to or makes it completed. And then another click on that same task removes it from completed state. Alright, moving on to the del or the delete task. This function here provides an X which we initially saw here, an X beside the task you have added in the website or in the to-do list. Any task you add is directly saved in the to-do list. So there is an X like this beside it which will help you delete it if it's of no use to you anymore. Going forward, append elements. So with this, we're going to add a text and delete button to the list. This append elements, this function adds the task test and delete button to the list and then displays it on the screen. We are going to look at that very soon. Clear input. So with this clear input is going to help us clear the input box after adding a task and then update us again on the statistics of the total and the completed task as we initially saw up there. Okay, then moving to add task button, click. When the add task button is clicked, a new task is added. So anytime you click on the add task button, a new task is going to be added to the to-do list. And then this place is something like, this function is something like a shortcut. So after entering your task in the space provided for you, you can decide to use your mouse pointer to click on the add task button, or you use the enter key on your keyboard and then it automatically adds the text or the task to the to-do list. So let's have a view of what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this is our website. This is how it looks like. So what you see here is the space where we are going to add our task. So something like this. Hello. You see that I use this process, which is using the mouse pointer. I add here. We can see the moment I clicked on the add task, our total task here became 1, but we still have 0 completed tasks here. We still have 0 completed tasks here, and then we have 1 total task. Let's add another one. Please come. I'm going to use the enter now. You see, we can see them here in the to-do list. Immediately I click on this, I'm going to get 1 completed task. The straight line that passes through the text indicates it is completed. And then initially, as we saw in the code, we knew or realized that when we click on a text or a task, it becomes completed. And then when we use that same process, we take it out of the completed state. So let's see. When I click on it, our completed task is 0. So I click on it, completed task is 1. Click on this too, is 1. So thank you very much. This is where we end today. Bye.